What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Spider Ketchup Gaming. I got my main man, Spider Clone 25, with me today.
What's up?
Man, look, we've been looking at this game and looking at this game and looking at this game for a long time, and we finally were like, you know what? I'm gonna shoot out an email. We're gonna see what they say, see if we can do a video with their videos involved, and they come back. They're like, yeah, absolutely. Just make sure you tag us in it. So here it is, guys. We're going to talk about this game. We've done a little bit of research. We're going to plug it a little bit. We're going to figure out if we can clear up whatever ill conception you may have of this game. So bear with us, and thanks for hanging in there with us. I know it's been a while since we put a video out, but, you know, life happens and shit. Yeah. So, first of all, what you're seeing right now is a video that they just released not too long ago of what I believe is two of the devs. They're actually building a ship off their port that's built into the side of the mountain. And we'll go into some of the construction stuff later as far as how it's going to work and some of the things we're going to be able to do with it in the game and how building things actually affect the economy of the game. I mean, this is the first time that, as far as I know, any game has done this. I mean,
yeah, I mean, it's definitely the first combination of, building PvP that we've seen that probably will work really well. It's definitely not No Man's Sky, and I think we're trying to relieve some of that stigma because this one seems way cooler. It's way more open world. You can really do whatever you want, and we're builders by nature, so we're probably going to be more in the building realm of this game.
Absolutely.
So we're going to start there and then kind of venture out. But yeah, it's going to be pretty exciting.
Which is really cool because, I mean, at first when we were talking about it, you told me you were like, hey, this game is coming out, we're going to be able to build ships and sell it to people. I'm like, oh, that's dope. Because, I mean, when we play Minecraft, we always build in, like, we spend way too much time on what our house looks like on the inside. Yeah. Versus what we're doing on the outside, whether it be tunnels or whatever the case may be.
We really don't get much done.
We really don't. We just roam around aimlessly. But I think this game is a great fit, is going to be a great fit for the person that wants to build, the person that wants to PvP, and also impact everything around them at the same time. One thing that I am super happy about, especially with this dev team, they have been super, super, super supportive and transparent. See if I can speak today about everything that they're going to be doing. They haven't, quote unquote, made any promises. They want everybody to know what's happening with the game, and a lot of the times when you watch the dev videos, I know I had this problem. Sometimes their levels were a little low in the volume, or you couldn't understand the dev that's talking. So we took it upon ourselves. We went and did some research, and we're going to try to clarify some of the stuff that's going to be happening in a kind of abridged version. I think later on we'll take each section and break it down into more detail of what's going to happen as far as server settings, PvP,
building,
economy, building, everything. Absolutely. So, I mean, with that being said, I want to go ahead and jump into the server settings because, one, it's really cool of how it's going to lay out. They put some visual graphics out on a video that kind of break it down a little bit, but we dug our toes in, we dug it in a little harder to see if we could figure it out and put it in layman's terms, for lack of any other term that we can use. So, what you're getting ready to see is the single shard. Is that...
Yeah, so the way the server works is it's a single shard universe, so it's going to be all the same instance. We're all going to be able to play together, so you're not going to have the same issue that people were kind of shocked about when No Man's Sky came out with not being able to see their friends. On this, you're going to be able to see your friends. It's basically just one reality. You're going to be able to kind of always be able to play with the same people. You're not going to ever have to worry about stupid shit like the cat making noise in the background. But it's going to be really interesting because the fact that you'll be able to play with 1,000 people around you at times is going to be pretty intense. It hasn't been done well yet, so we'll kind of see if these guys can actually pull it off. From what they're saying, it kind of sounds like they will.
Yeah, as far as I know, this, like you said, it hasn't been done yet. I know playing MMOs in my past, like playing WoW, Star Wars, Elder Scrolls, Diablo, all these things, yes, we were all on the same server at some point, but when we broke off into groups, we would go into instances where they're separate servers and they're different settings. Whereas this, it's one big server. If you look in the top left-hand corner, you can kind of see what's going on. It's one big server, and then the closer people get, they start using different segments of that server, getting smaller and smaller the closer they get to everyone. But like Spider Clone said, it's all one instance. It's all one reality. It's not, hey, we have to phase into this area or we have to go here and phase into this area. It's there, and that's all it is to it.
And basically, like, the closer you get to another player, the more updates you get from that player as far as position and orientation. And that's kind of the algorithm they use. The further you are away, the less times that you basically ping information from them. So it kind of saves computing speed on the server side to do that. And it's basically a network of a bunch of different servers. So each server is on a certain zone of a planet or a whole planet, and you start to use different parts of it when you move around to different regions. And it makes it to where, they can have a lot more people on and not experience latency issues.
Yeah, and I love the way they describe it too. You're going from a theme park style playing style where everything is already pre-built, it's there, to going into a sandbox style, which means when you go into a theme park, if you go 4 steps down, you go 4 blocks down and to the left, there's a Wetzel's Pretzel. And here, you can go there and build that. Versus knowing what's there, it could change every day. It could change literally every minute.
Everything's built by players in this game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're going to be the ones building the cities and basically shaping what the planets look like and what happens on each planet based on, what resources we can find there or who is in control of it at that point. And if people take it over, I'm sure it'll change. It's going to be always evolving. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see how that turns out and see the true nature of some people.
Yeah, we're just going to come in and nuke the whole place. Yeah. So,
hopefully we won't get nuked too early on, because that'll instill a rage quit.
Yeah, that would instill a rage quit. And in the last few weeks, there's been a lot of discussion, like on Reddit, on the forums, also with the dev team discussing back and forth, that they're classifying it as a PvP MMO, which it's more of a builder MMO, which is kind of new to the genre. Because, I mean, in other games, you could build armor, you could build weapons, you could build arbitrary stuff that you have to have in the game. But building is going to be such a massive role within the game itself, not only for you and your team, but also the economy. There's a defined pattern of what's going to happen. So SpiderClone and myself, we are going to be shipbuilders, okay? We are going to build ships. We are going to sell them to PvP carriers. We are going to essentially be gun runners for the game, and we're going to make our living inside the game as shipbuilders. Because, I mean, we both, like we said earlier, we're both builders by nature, so we kind of gravitate towards that. Whereas also, we're kind of not guarded, but what's the word I'm looking for? Protected by all sides, because A, people are going to need their shit, and 2, we're going to put out a quality product as far as functionality goes. They plan on implementing a builder gameplay in it for 2 reasons. The construction cycle is going to fall back into the economy, like I said. It's going to fall back into PvP, so we can build massive starships, we can build massive star fleets for that matter, and just go in on it. Now, the first question I had was, where are we going to build? Like, are we going to go out and we're just going to explore? We're going to be like, hey, this is our planet, this is where we're going to build. And then I've done a little bit more research and come to find out there's going to be safe zones for builders.
Yeah, so places where you don't have to worry about people coming and wrecking your shit when you're in the middle of trying to build something. It's a little bit more peaceful for the builders, and basically you won't have to deal with any bullshit. And right now, the only one that they have, like, that's definitely going to be in the game is the area around the Ark ship, which is where you basically start and spawn it in the game.
Yeah.
And, they're definitely evaluating putting them in across the universe just so that there's more safe areas. But, it's also where the PvP guys can kind of come in and help out and be almost like mercenaries and guard shit while people are trying to build something for them. So there, there's definitely another teamwork aspect in that, and they kind of talk about some of the different things they want to use for builders, like and how it works. And you kind of seen in the video so far, like you can pick different shapes and you can basically expand them out. It's kind of like I used to take some technical drawing classes, and we did stuff in like Autodesk, and you make a plane that's 2D, and then you project it out a dimension or a depth, and you get something 3D out of it. And that kind of seems to be what they've done with this. And there's a lot of cool tools that they built in. So like you've seen, they've been putting down blocks. They've also cut out different shapes. They've got spheres, cubes. They've got some triangular shapes. They've got angled shapes. And you can kind of just build these out and expand them. And that's kind of the basis for building your ships. And then you can see too that the guy had a pre-made cockpit. So you're going to have like a pre-made core, a cockpit. You're going to have certain elements for each kind of ship in order for it to function properly and actually get up off the ground. And you can kind of see in the menu, he's got a few options to pick from of pre-made parts there that he's going to put in. So it's going to be kind of cool. And the fact that you can almost take what you wanted from Minecraft and make it fully functional and actually get it up off the ground. So it's no longer just like something you spend hours and days on Minecraft, and then all you can do is post a YouTube video and say, well, here it is. It's just sitting on the ground, but I made it.
Right, and now you can post it to your social media website, or I'm sure there's going to be Reddit forums for each server. You're like, hey, look, I just built this.
Yeah, do you want it?
These are the functions. This is what it's going to cost you to come get it.
Yeah.
Which is really cool because they're adding different tools in, as far as like, for me, when I was reading the descriptions of them, the first thing that came to mind was Photoshop.
Yeah.
So they got like the select tool, the paint tool.
Yeah, and then there's like a smoothing tool, and you're also going to be able to create some shapes and then save them to like a clipboard. So like you won't have to lay down every single shape every time. You'll actually be able to come back to something that you saved before and maybe build off of it differently for something else, or just have like a general library of stuff you make all the time. So that's going to be kind of nifty. It'll save a lot of time once you've actually put in a few hours to make some base shapes up. So that's going to help out for building like the larger ships like starships, or even for building like larger forts, or areas where you're going to have like a large community. You won't have to build 100 different houses. You'll just have to build one, and then you can copy and paste it 100 times.
Like the suburbs.
Yeah.
With that being said, I know there's been talk about alien ruins. So I know in No Man's Sky, you go like these little ruins, and it'll teach you like a little bit of the language. And this is kind of the same concept, but you can learn different technologies. Like right now, you see that he's placing like engines. He could have learned that from an alien technology, and you can actually go in and fortify that and use that technology, whether it be power, mining, whatever the case may be, to your advantage. So that's it. It's coming a long way, and they're calling it what do they call it? Voxel tool?
Yeah, voxel.
Voxel tools. So when we think about forming in this game, when we think about building and how it's going to take effect and how it's going to take effect and be effective in the game, it's definitely going to take a whole new take on the MMO style of game, where it's just one person out there grinding, getting whatever they need, where you're going to need an entire fleet essentially. Yeah. It's going to take a tribe to raise an army in this game. Yeah, it's going to be great. Now, with some of the tools being said, I know you said something about the line tool. What exactly is that?
So, like the line tool, from what they've told us so far, basically you're going to be able to you're going to have two rectangular shapes. Like if you wanted to put an angle between them, instead of having to do squares, which would leave it kind of pixelated looking, they actually have angular pieces. So you'll be able to do like 45-degree angles, and I think like 30 or 60 degrees, something like that. But it'll actually make it all smooth for you, and it won't be kind of stair-stepped like it would if you use the squares like are on the screen right now. So it's gonna help make everything look a little bit more real, because the one thing that this game looks like they've done well at is taking really simple shapes that you can project and make them still look real with the amount of pre-built that's in the game. Like the engines and the cockpit on this ship really make it look like it was built in the game by a developer rather than just something you kind of rinky-dink put together with some dirt blocks like in Minecraft.
Yeah, I don't know how this would look in Minecraft. It would be huge because you couldn't get all these shapes. It would look raggedy.
Yeah, everything would be square.
Yeah, everything would be square. And I know we were just looking at it. We were just watching, and they're going to be doing like a paint tool, so you can go ahead and put stripes on it like he did, or whatever your clan, guild, galactic, whatever you want to call your friends, whatever your paint scheme is, you can actually paint it to that scheme to put your emblems on, or whatever the case may be. So that's being scheduled to be put in. And everything that we've talked about tonight, everybody has to remember that this is everything that you're watching on the video and we're talking about is pre-alpha. Everything is still in production. This isn't final product. They're talking about not being released until 2018. So
yeah, still a lot of time to go. But the good news is we'll probably be able to keep you up to date on it, and hopefully we can get it on the alpha so we can at least put up some videos of what we get to do on there. And once the game comes out, we'll definitely be looking for some people to help us out in our journey. And
absolutely,
you know, either help protect us or help build some shit with us. So feel free to let us know if you want to get in on it, and we'll definitely send you an invite.
Absolutely. Well, guys, that's going to do it for us tonight. We are going to end this here. Like I said before, we're going to try to break down each step, well, each section that we talked about tonight in more detail later on, so we can actually get more information from the dev team that's there. And we just want to say thank you, not only to y'all, to everybody watching, to everybody that's subscribed, to everybody that's hit the like button, but also to the dev team that's making Dual Universes. They're working super hard. They're being super transparent, and it means a lot to me as a gamer and as a community member to be able to look at a dev team and say, hey, these guys are legit. These guys are they're gonna do a good job, and they're not gonna cut any corners. So for that reason, we are gonna stand behind this game 100%. They got another crowdfunding project coming up soon. The links for everything that you saw tonight will be in the description below. The link to their Facebook, Twitter, their YouTube channel, everything will be in the link description below. So please go support them. Keep tabs on them. Great things are coming, and I guess we will check y'all later.
Yeah, and make sure you guys stay tuned for some Battlefield 1 footage. We got that coming out next week, so we'll be freaking wrecking face on that soon.
Yes.
So make sure you stay tuned for some of that.
All right, guys. Peace.